Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now today, something of a conversational video really, because as I've been quietly negotiating my way through more than half a century of life, I've encountered many faux pas, many sort of things which bug me in life. And I've been kind of slowly but surely over the last few months jotting down many of the things which cross my path, which affect the way which I perceive the modern gentleman that I encounter in life. Now, the points I'm going to share with you today about the things which I think the modern man, these are the rules to live life by, they come from different genres. They relate to style, yes, of course they do, I'm interested in style. They relate to social skills, your manners, your courtesy that you display to others, the respect that you show other people. Also about your mental outlook, the way that you look at life as well. So an overall sort of rounded view from etiquette to practicalities that I think the modern man, these are rules that he could live by, and definitely they are somewhat noble rules to live by. So, like I say, I've been jotting these things down for quite some time, and my first one, and I think I'm going to break this up into two videos because 10 points is what I have here. It's probably a little long for one video, so I'm going to do two. But my first one is a nice and easy one to start you off with. It's an etiquette matter, and it is, this really bugs me when it happens. You never should shake a hand of another person when you're sitting down. Now imagine, you're in your office at work or you're in the restaurant and you see somebody you know. They come over to you and they hold out their hand to shake your hand. You should never take the hand and shake it whilst you are still seated. You should always rise to your feet, stop whatever you're doing, rise to your feet and shake the hand. Take the hand which is offered and shake it firmly and solidly, with poise and bearing, as I say, but it shows a sign of respect. You're rising to your feet, you're meeting the person eye to eye, in a standing position, on the level. And I think that's the very least that you can do when somebody offers the courteous act of shaking your hand. So never shake a hand when seated. It's an easy rule to start with. The same goes for you, mind, all right? So if you go into a restaurant and you see a friend who's sat at a table halfway through a meal, having a chat with their wife or partner or girlfriend or mistress, whatever, the last thing you should do is go over and offer to shake their hand, because if that person is having a meal, it's somewhat disrespectful to expect them to stop eating, get up, shake your hand. In a situation like that, just offer the greeting, nod of the head, say hello, don't offer the hand. It helps other people negotiate that situation of never shake a hand when sitting down. Now my next tip is quite a short one, but it is very valid, and that is a good command of language will get you far in life. A bad command of language can definitely hold you back. Now I found that being able to communicate easily and well and expressively using lots of descriptive words has really opened doors for me in life, in terms of the fact that I feel confident and capable of passing a message that I have to another person using language as the medium to do so. And I have cultivated quite a wide vocabulary of descriptive words over the years, predominantly through prodigious reading. All right? I'm not classically educated in any formal sense. I did not go to university. I joined the military when I was a young man. That gift of life was not afforded to me. I educated myself as I passed through my own life journey by reading as often, as frequently and as widely as I could, and I used the words which I have learned over that period of my life to help me communicate and transmit my message to others. Now conversely, you will find that people who resort to bad language to better express themselves with other people, well, they fall at the first fence. They are unable to communicate properly, cohesively with others if they revert to profanity and, swearing, basically. The way I always approach it, I imagine that my mother was listening to my conversation. She would not be pleased if I was effing and blinding through a conversation with, somebody I met. So I always curtail my language. In fact, it's a bit of a moot point because my mother does watch my videos. I know that. And my mother does enjoy the use of bad language, but you understand what I mean. Figuratively, I imagine that my mother is listening. If you do the same, it'll keep your language clean too. Now, my tip number 3 for today is really listen twice as much as you speak in any social situation. Good conversation is the cornerstone of the social gentleman, the chap who is popular, who communicates easily, frequently and happily with other people. And learning good conversation techniques is something which will stand you in stead for the entirety of your life. Now, I've picked up many tips over the years, not just through being a social person, but actually also professionally. Right? I was a detective for many, many years when I worked in law enforcement, and that involved interviewing suspects for very serious crimes, but also interviewing witnesses, drawing information from people. And that's a really good way to get a conversation going in normal life. And the tips that I learned was very, very simple, and it was this equation. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. That is the way that you should engage in conversation. Listen twice as much as you speak. Get the other person to do all the talking. People love talking about themselves particularly. You do the listening, they do the talking, and believe me, it makes for a fabulous conversation with other people. A very good little technique as well is always ask open questions. Questions which cannot be answered by yes or no. That's another law enforcement technique. I'll give you an example. If I said to you, "Isn't the weather wonderful today?" Really, the only answer you're going to get is yes or no. However, if I phrased it slightly differently, if I said to you, "What do you think of the weather today?" Well, that can't be answered by yes or no. It can only be answered by a sentence. And a sentence is the beginning of a conversation. So if you want to get the conversation flowing, ask open questions, listen twice as much as you speak, and you will be a fabulous conversationalist. Now, my tip number 4, my penultimate tip for this video, is really about handshakes. All right, it's worthy of its own video, I know it is. But in the vast tapestry of social interactions, few gestures carry as much weight as a handshake. It can tell so much about the person, good or bad. If you offer a limp, clammy hand to somebody and you shake it with pretty much no strength at all, it kind of says that you're a man of very little substance. It's giving too much away. If you grab hold of somebody's hand and crush it, what are you trying to prove? It comes across that you're trying to assert dominance. You think that you're an alpha male, and this is you trying to out-squeeze the hand of another person. It's just as bad as the limp and clammy handshake. For me, a good handshake has a few simple characteristics. Firstly, it doesn't start with a hand. It starts with a smile. You smile at the person. You make good eye contact. We are showing, visibly demonstrating that we are happy, we're pleased to meet them. That's even before you put your hand out. Then you offer your hand, and in a firm but still delicate manner, you shake the hand. It's brief, it's meaningful. You don't hang on to the hand for too long and make this a kind of awkward, uncomfortable situation. It's a quick shake of the hand, and the gesture has been undertaken. Whilst maintaining eye contact, you're probably going to be saying some greetings as well. "Oh, hello, nice to meet you. My name is Ash." That's all you have to do. It's not some sort of arm wrestling contest or anything like that. It's a quick, meaningful gesture, and the hand is only a small part of it. It's up here that they'll be looking. The face, the visage. Look at the eyes, say the right words, happy smile on the face. That is how you deliver a meaningful handshake. Okay, now my 5th and final tip for this video, there will be a second video to follow up, is always aim to be the best dressed man in a room. I use this expression, an intentionally well-dressed man. And that really means somebody simply who pays an interest in the way that they dress. They are interested. They want to look good. They want to give the perception to other people, look, you know, I'm a well put together guy. I've curated my clothing with the intention of making myself look good and smart. And I'm doing that to show respect to you and for my own self-respect also. And whenever you go into a situation, always aim to be the best dressed man in the room, but within the boundaries of what is considered normality, all right? There's no good going to a barbecue in a friend's back garden wearing a three-piece suit. It's not appropriate for that situation. So I think part of being the best dressed man in a room, being an intentionally well-dressed man, is about knowing what is expected of the situation that you're venturing into and dressing just at one notch level higher than everybody else. If it is a barbecue in the back garden and you know that all of your associates are going to be wearing board shorts, flip-flops and t-shirts, well, if you want to portray yourself as that slightly better put together guy, I always do things like, imagine what would James Bond wear for a start? What has he worn in situations like that in the movies? And I've never seen James Bond wearing flip-flops or board shorts. He would probably be wearing a nice pair of loafers, possibly, you know, something in suede. He would most likely, or boat shoes, he might wear a pair of shorts if it was a very hot day, but he would wear sort of chino shorts, which are probably well pressed. And on his upper half, maybe a polo shirt. If what everybody else is wearing is a t-shirt, put a bit of form into your look and wear a polo shirt. It's got a nice collar, it's got some structure to it. It essentially performs the same purpose as a t-shirt, but it does so with a bit of poise and bearing. And that is the skill. So think about the situation you're going into and dress just one notch above everybody else. Do not be the spectacle who has overdressed to the point that it becomes slightly uncomfortable for everybody else around you. And you will achieve the goal of being the best dressed man in the room, certainly within the boundaries of normality. Okay, gentlemen, there we go. Those were my first 5 tips on the rules which I believe a modern gentleman should live his life in this world today. Now, I could almost make a video on each one of those subjects, topics, but there are another 5 coming along shortly after in my next video. So hopefully you will enjoy those too. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, click subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee, one-off thing. You can leave a comment. You can drop me an email with your own question, or you can become a patron and enjoy the extra video content that I produce exclusively for my patrons each and every week. The links to all of those things in the show notes below. So until the next time, live your life by these rules and you won't go far wrong. Until then, take care.